by faith. It's by faith through grace that we are saved. Yet, it's not through our works. Yet, faith without works is dead. And I couldn't comprehend this at all. And then all of a sudden, I came across Andrew's teaching, and it was like all these things slotted into place. All the dots were joined up, and I could actually see what God was actually saying to me. And at that time, I felt called. For some years, I need to go to Bible college, but I could never find a Bible college that would make sense to me. And then Andrew came along, and I became aware of Caris. And I said to Leslie, what happened was I came across a teaching called God Wants You Well. And up until then, I'd been taught God won't make you well unless you actually know what He's trying to teach you. He will withhold healing until. But God actually wants you well all the time. I thought, this is amazing. And I just got this sudden revelation and this move of the Spirit. And I had a friend at that time who had cancer, and she just identified it. And two of us went down to pray with her. And at that moment, when we were praying, a bright light came into this room. And I know she was healed at that time. And a week or so later, she was in hospital for an operation. And they said to her, look, I'm afraid you may come out of this operation with most of your insides missing, tubes and all sorts of things around. When they opened her up, nearly all the cancer had disappeared, and they had a scan. There was cancer everywhere, and it had nearly all disappeared. I can remember being so angry that it had not all gone. But it's and the surgeons called her their miracle patient, because on the scan it was all there, but they opened her up, it had all gone. Unfortunately, those little bits, those little spots, persuaded her to go into chemo, and I think it's and lots of other people, the pressure that came upon her. And you know, it's what our brother was saying. Sometimes pressure comes upon us. Andrew was saying the other day that actually, as far as he knows, Satan isn't omnipresent. Satan isn't sitting on all our shoulders whispering. He does not have the power of the Holy Spirit. He does not have the power of God. He is a created being. And as far as I know, demons do not procreate. And they came down at the beginning, and Satan then went to Adam, because there was only one or two at those times, and he deceived Eve. And then it just went all the way downhill from there on. So Satan deceives. It's not that he sits on our shoulders all the time, but he can use the newspapers. He can use all sorts of things that come out, that we read. As we're saying, what we look at, what we read, the pictures we look at, the cinema, television, all has an effect on how we think. And sometimes I think Satan looks at what we do to ourselves and he says, that's a good idea. I haven't tried that one. And it's actually and it's renewing our mind helps us to release the spirit within us that can work through that valve which is the heart and affect what we do. And so we become not ashamed of the gospel.